Paris Metro, security checks, pickpockets. What if I get separated from my friends and family? In this video, I explain all of this to you and so much more.
First, this video is part of my Paris Metro tutorial series. So real quick, if you haven't watched the first video, I'll link it here and also in the description below if you prefer to watch it later. Let's go. Here's what's going to happen next. I've separated my recommendations into 3 categories. Prep. Here's where you're going to save time and money. The ride. In this section, these are extra tips in addition to my first video to help you out. Okay, this is extra stuff. And safety. You'll be less of a target for pickpockets with these tips. And if you stay to the end, I will share 2 magical Paris Metro stops that are so gorgeous. They have to be on your list. Let's start with preparation. What is the difference between the Navigo Easy Metro card and the weekly Navigo card? The weekly Navigo card is called Découverte. So the main difference between the two is that the weekly card has unlimited use, but has a strict window of Monday to Sunday. The Découverte card, the weekly one, also requires a government ID photo. And yes, you're going to need a card for each traveler, so that means getting a photo ID for each person too. The Navigo Easy Pass does not require photo ID, so this just right there makes it so much easier, and it can be given away. But you will still need 1 Easy Pass card per person, okay? 1 per person. The cost of the Navigo Découverte weekly card is a one-time fee of €5 to purchase. Then you pay 30 euros per week for unlimited use of the card. So I'm going to give you a little bit of details here and just stay with me. So the Navigo Week Pass is valid from Monday to Sunday, inclusive in all the chosen zones, all right? But you can buy it in advance from Friday to use for the following week. It gives you access to all modes of transport, like the bus, the metro, the train, and tram. Now, the Navigo Easy Pass has a one-time fee of €2, okay? Just one-time fee, €2. After you purchase it, then you just load tickets on as you need it individually. You can buy individual tickets or a booklet of 10 tickets. You can also load up day passes onto this. Makes it very easy to use. So I know you're going to ask me, how do I buy it? How do I use it? How do I load those tickets? Go to that Metro tutorial video. Can you use a contactless credit card in France? Can you use them in France? The short answer is yes, you can use a contactless credit card in France, but I still want you to travel with a debit card. It is essential to still be able to use a PIN code because some machines in this country do not accept contactless credit cards. Also, you may want to pull out cash from the ATM. This is often the easiest way to get euros when you first arrive. Be sure to check out my tips on ATM scams too. And as a final reminder, American Express is not widely accepted in France either, so leave the Amex at home and bring the Visa card instead. Next up, can you purchase a Navigo Easy Pass at CDG Airport? The short answer is yes, you can purchase the Navigo Easy Pass at the CDG Airport. You can buy them at the service desk near the subway entrance. The office will be open during regular operating business hours. However, do consider these reasons why I suggest taking a taxi. I always tell my friends and family, take a taxi from the airport to Paris versus the subway. Number 1, my family and friends arrive on early flights. This is a great anti-jet lag tactic as you have a full day of sunlight and activity to help you acclimate on the first day. It's great. If you arrive early or late, the service booth will likely be closed. Number 2, luggage. You will be dragging bags up and down stairs, escalators, onto quick-moving trains with automatic doors and more. I'm not kidding you. Most metro stops do not have elevators, and you will absolutely be navigating all of those stairs with your giant bags. Number 3, pickpockets. Those large suitcases on the train are absolutely a target for theft. They will likely not even be after your big bags. Sometimes they are, but they know you are distracted from the trip. They know you are tired and will go after your purse and other smaller items, like your wallet, like your passport. Convenience. Honestly, number 4 is all about convenience. After collecting your luggage and going through customs, sit back and relax in the taxi. Just allocate the budget for it, knowing you're going to be dropped off at the hotel's doorstep. It's a small but worthwhile luxury, trust me. I recommend saving the metro experience after a good night's rest. Wake up the next day, grab an espresso and croissant, and then follow my step-by-step instructions on how to buy the Navigo Easy Pass and ride the metro. If you buy a carnet, which is like a booklet of 10 tickets, is it valid only for that day when I buy it? So the great thing about a Navigo Easy Pass is that when you buy the 10 ticket pack, it's at a reduced rate, and any remaining tickets are valid for 10 years. Now, let's hope that you come back to Paris many times after, but if you don't, you can gift your Navigo Easy Pass to another friend or family member. They're likely going to be inspired by your trip and want to go too. You can't do that with the weekly Discovery or Découverte Pass because that one requires a government photo ID and will always belong to you. So load up your Navigo Easy Pass, have fun riding the metro, and don't worry, you'll have plenty of time to use the remaining balance on your next trip. Can I buy a Paris Metro Pass on my iPhone and use my iPhone to scan my rides at the entrances? Regarding using your iPhone, I have bad news for you. I'm sorry, unfortunately, that is not an option yet. However, users with Android NFC phones can buy the pass of their choice and use their mobile directly on turnstiles. But at this time, no Désolé, iPhone users cannot use their phones to scan rides at the metro entrance. Now, I received a message from one of our community members, and the app that they were using to figure out their trip had them taking 2 different metro lines, which is okay, but then it had them leaving the metro station entirely to make that change. That's wrong. Here was the original question. If my journey involves taking 2 different metro lines, and I have to leave one station and enter another after a short walk, is the same ticket valid, or do I use a new one? So there's like 2 questions in one here. One, the short answer is yes. When you leave the metro, when you leave the metro station entirely and you're back up on the street level, your ride ends, your ticket is no longer valid. So in this example, this person would need to use a second ticket for that connection or change. However, you shouldn't need to exit at all. Paris city center connections are all made underground, requiring only 1 ticket for the entire trip. This is for Paris city center. Now let's say you're traveling outside of Paris, for example, to Versailles. Well, that trip will require a special ticket as you won't be staying in city center for that trip. Okay? You're going to Disneyland, you're going to Normandy, you're going anywhere else. Totally different situation. But for the sake of this example, you should not have to leave the metro at all. All of your connections are made underground. Now, I would love for you to remember always to check the distance of one destination against another. I want to show you an example. Now, this is the Metro app that I showed you how to use in my other tutorial video. For example, I'm putting in the Musée du Louvre, and I want to go to the Musée d'Orsay. Here, this app is going to tell me that I have to take a bus, and it's going to take me 12 minutes, which doesn't seem like much, right? And it's a rather simple ride, but you still have to figure out how to pick up the bus, where to find it, where to go. It can be rather complicated. It'd probably take you longer than 12 minutes to actually do this, versus what if you just walked it? So in this example, I'm showing you the same thing, Musée du Louvre, and then I'm going to put in the destination of Musée d'Orsay. And it's the same, it's 12 minutes, okay? But look at the beautiful, huge Jardin Tuileries that you get to see in the River Seine. And it wouldn't be the same experience if I walked it. So I really want you to think about always checking if a distance is doable, maybe even by a few extra minutes by walking, because look what you get to see on the way. It's just the architecture here. There's Notre Dame. It's just amazing. So slip on those sneakers and let's get to walking. In this section, the ride, I'm going to share with you some additional tips. Community member Teresa sent in a comment that I wanted to share. She said, there was no attendant at our metro station, so we tried to buy a Navigo Easy Pass from the machine. Instead of the plastic card we were expecting, we got a long paper ticket and 10 smaller tickets. So in this comment, Teresa mentioned her challenges and successes when trying to purchase the Navigo Easy Pass. So she's right, you can't purchase the Navigo Easy Pass from the automated machines. You have to visit a service booth. But here's the trick. She gave up when the first booth was not attended, but she still had options. Here's a few things to know. Number 1, Don't visit a service booth during the French lunch hour, which is from about noon to 2 p.m. They tend to be less manned at that time. Number 2, also avoid going to the service booth on a Sunday if possible. They're more likely to have reduced staff that day. Tip 3 is the smaller stations may have only some booths staffed. So think of a metro station being a hub, right? There's going to be a number of different entrances from different locations, right? Because people are coming in from different directions. So there may be a service booth at one of those entrances, but that day there may not be a person. All you need to do is just turn around, exit the metro, and try a different entrance. There are often multiple service booths. Or number 4, try a larger station nearby. You might have tried visiting a metro stop that was just too small, and the service hours are restricted, or the booth was temporarily closed due to lack of staffing. And number 5, don't forget to check French holidays, and if there's a strike going on, you should expect the service windows to be closed on those days too. Okay? Community member Dawn had a question on riding the metro. When on the train, how do I know which station we are at or coming into or past? So she wants to know, she's riding the train, which station is she at? And especially if it's announced in French, she may miss the announcement. Honestly, this is a great question for those who are new to big cities and riding subway systems. It brings back actually a really strong memory of my first few trips to Paris. I was amazed at how different some of the place names were in French versus what was in my head. The short and easy answer is that each metro station has very large signs on the walls to show you which stop you're at visually. They're all along the walls. It really is impossible to miss them. Additionally, every train has a map posted above the door on the inside. This is a great way to track your progress. Compare the station name you just passed with the map on the wall, and you'll know how far away your stop is. Now, some trains even have lighted maps showing the journey. The next metro stop blinks, letting you know which station you arrived at. But that's not always reliable. Not every train has this feature. Don't forget my Paris Metro tutorial video. This shows you step by step how to use the app. You'll know exactly where you're going, okay? Watch it all the way through. But what happens if your destination is getting farther away instead of closer? Well, that means you got on a metro train in the wrong direction. Oops, but really, don't panic. It happens all the time. It's an easy fix. What you're gonna do is just get off at the next stop and cross over onto the other side of the platform. And you're just gonna take the stairs back up and go on to the other side. In this next tip, I'm going to explain to you real briefly something for you to understand, which is rush hour. Just like your rush hour traffic at home, Paris is often faced with crowded trains at rush hour. And there's a Twitter account called Metro Qualité that analyzes the traffic information and statistics. What's interesting is that there was, on average, more than 37 hours of disruption per day on the network. The most problematic? 5 to 6 p.m. when people are returning home from work. Okay? Some alternative things: take a moment, sit on a cafe terrace, have a glass of wine or an espresso, and just wait for that to pass. You also get to people watch and watch Paris go by in front of you. If it's rush hour, what do you do? Well, my suggestion is to, 1, avoid the metro, and also avoid using the taxi. Honestly, you're just going to pay to sit in safety. This section is on safety. What to do if you get separated from your travel partners. This is scary, right? The idea of being separated from your travel partner or your family, your friends, this is scary. But having a plan in place in the case you get separated from your friends or family is important. It's vital. It happens more than you think. The trains are crowded. There's a rush to get on, and your friend or family member hesitates just a little bit before stepping on the train. In a blink of an eye, the bell sounds and the door closes, leaving your friend on the platform, and the train whisks you away to the next stop. That's terrifying. Sounds scary, right? And it kind of is in the moment, right? But my first tip is to avoid this situation by waiting. Okay, so tip number 1, wait. These trains run very frequently, often less than 5 minutes between each other. If there is a long line to get onto the train or the cabins are overly crowded, wait for the next one and see how that looks. The goal here is to keep your group together and wait for a train that is less crowded. The next step is to have a plan. If you have small children, first pick them up and carry them onto the train. If you do get separated, stay calm and be prepared. Agree that the people on the train will get off immediately at the very next stop. Don't go to the destination, just agree that you're going to reconvene at the very next stop, okay? Don't move, okay? Just get off at the next stop. And the person left behind is going to do the same. They're going to get onto the very next train and they're going to travel to the very next stop. Do not move. That's important, okay? Because you guys will be immediately reconnected if you do not move. Let's talk about another scary moment. A Paris Metro security ticket check. What do you show? This question is important because security checks happen frequently. They're unannounced, and you should know what to expect and how to be prepared. The purpose of the security checks is to catch people using the metro system without paying. So guards are going to set up at specific points in the Metro Underground, and to get past them, you have to provide proof of payment. Now, if you have a paper ticket, hand that to the guard. They will use a machine to scan the ticket and confirm that it was used for that trip. It's important to hand them the Metro ticket you just used for this ride, not an old one. And if you have a Navigo Easy Pass or other Metro card, you'll give that to the security guard. They'll scan it and wait you on your way. What happens, for example, if you lose your paper ticket or you threw it away? Well, you're going to be issued a fine of 50 euros that you have to pay immediately. Also, side note, you can be fined for putting your feet up on the back of the seats on the trains, okay? So tell the kids to keep their feet on the floor. That is a 60 euro fine. So finally, in the safety section, let's talk about pickpockets because they're on your mind. That's also a bit of a scary thing, but here's the thing. I'm going to tell you some things that you need to know so that you are a target. All right. I know that a lot of you think that by wearing the right clothes that you're going to try and fit in and look more Parisian and be less of a target. That's just simply not going to be the case. Okay? That they know how to look for you as a tourist. They recognize you immediately. There's no fitting in. So let's deep dive into this essential topic, how to protect yourself from pickpockets. Paris, like any major city, has its share of these opportunistic individuals, but they're not trying to hurt you, okay? They just want to make some money. So staying vigilant is often a big thing, just knowing who's around you, all right? That also goes back to choosing metro trains that are less crowded. The more crowded they are, the more opportunity they have, all right? The biggest thing that I can suggest to you is not to have bags on the outside of your body, okay? Especially from like autumn to late spring, you're going to be wearing a coat in Paris because it's cold and wet and rainy. Wear a crossbody bag or something like that underneath your coat. Now, my husband has the habit of putting all of his things in his pockets, and that is a really hard habit for him to break. It's a lifetime habit of being able to put his wallet in his back pocket. It does not matter where it is on your body. Do not put things in your pockets, anything. Okay? And if you have somebody in your travel party that has that habit, be sure to kind of remind them before you leave your hotel or apartment to not put valuables or anything in your pockets, okay? Another thing I see often on the metros are like backpacks. People try and use like smaller backpacks, bigger backpacks, carrying too much, bottom line, but that you have to use a backpack for whatever reason, then please use backpack locks. And then when you are on the metro, move the backpack around front, like it's a baby, and put it on in the front of your body so that you can see all of the access points. Crossbody bags, money belts, hidden pouches, those are all the best things to keep things safe and away from pickpockets. Before we wrap up, let me share 2 hidden gems that deserve a spot on your must-see list when riding the Paris Metro. These stations not only serve as transportation hubs, but they also offer absolutely captivating beauty and historical significance. I love these metro stops. The first is the Abesses metro stop. It's just, this station stands out for its absolutely stunning tiles and captivating artwork. So this is the deepest station in the Paris Metro. It's 36 meters below ground. It's because it's built into the side of the Montmartre hillside. This station was opened in 1913 and has witnessed decades of Parisian life and culture. It is so elegant and it's so beautiful. The next one is the Palais Royal metro stop. I absolutely adore this one too. So it's more of a contemporary design. The way to reach this one is, instead of taking the signs left to the Louvre Museum, you'll go straight and follow the signs to the Palais Royal. Can you still get to the Louvre Museum? Absolutely. You're just going to do it at street level. You're just going to cross the street. It's like looking at jewelry, and you will love taking photos in front of it. Also, in that same courtyard is the Comédie Française, which often there are street performers or musicians playing out front, and it's the most wonderful Parisian moment. But of course, don't forget to go into the Palais Royal Park. Please, the gardens, it's stunning. I could tell you so much more, but I'll leave it there.
I hope this series helps you feel a bit more confident about traveling on the Paris metro system. It really is a great way to get around, but don't forget to walk when you can and see the beauty of this city. It's just magnificent. I wish you a wonderful trip, and here's a few more videos for you to check out that might help you with your August.